In our first story, we look at the amenity water. And apparently there's a reservoir in Insawam for water treatment. And the situation, or the report we're getting, that it has dried up due to the Harmattan.
This has affected water distribution to Insawam and its environs. As a stopgap measure, though, residents of Insawam Adwejiri are compelled to use water from a contaminated source of River Dane. So the situation has persisted for the past 2 weeks. MFA Awenam Atiamwa Eli visited the area and has come through with the following report.
This is the Insawam water treatment plant. The water level has dropped drastically to below 2 feet at the time of our visit. There were no officials to explain, but Joy News gathered the drop is as a result of the Harmattan. The shortage has affected water distribution to Insawam Adwejiri and its environs. So I set off to find out more from the townspeople. There are pockets of men and women, children here washing. They are just a little distance away from an outlet of the River Densu. The reason being that they don't have water in their various homes. I want to speak to a couple of them to find out why they are doing their washing here by the river. And I have with me currently Ramat, who will be telling me her story. Ramat, welcome to Joy News.
You are welcome, madam.
I can see that you are washing here. Can you tell me the reason? Why are you not washing in your house?
Thank you very much for asking me this question. The reason why we are washing here is we don't have pipe for the past 2 weeks now, and we have been fetching this river Densu for the past 2 weeks now. So we used to fetch the water, go home and boil it before we drink, and after that we used to come here and wash again. We have been washing clothes, cleaning. That same water used to wash and clean and even prepare food to eat ourselves. Some people even don't used to boil, but they used to drink it that way. And at that same water, they used to bath inside with soap and sponge and all that stuff. So we are suffering here in this Insawam Zongo. So
why are you washing here? We haven't had water throughout this Harmattan season, especially for the last 2 weeks. We live far from the river, and it's a lot of work going up and down just to fetch water. So what happens is that we come to the riverbank, wash, and carry our clothes home for drying.
When I came here since last month, water problem. They will tell us that they will open the tap, but we will go and sit there for some times. They will not open. Sometimes they will open within 30 minutes, it will go up again. So we normally came here to fetch the water and go to the house and bath and things. So if it's time for us to wash, we do come here and do the washing.
Do you drink? Do you use to cook?
No, we don't use to cook. But some people use this to cook because they have no option than to use this water to cook. But us, we don't drink. We normally buy pure water and take. But even in cooking in our house, we do boil it. You know, if we boil the water, nothing will happen about it. So.
Small-scale businesses, artisans, as well as students of the St. Martin Senior High School in Insawam depend on this stretch of the Densu River for their chores. Ima, tell me, how do you feel about using this water at school?
This one, we feel, let me say, it's not good, but how will you do it? We are managing.
How often does the pipe flow in your school?
Madam, like 1 week.
You are washing colored clothes, some are white. How do you ensure that those clothes do not get spots by the color of water you are using?
We pour some blue point or Dettol. That's the water should be clean. Okay, when the water should be clean. That's why we use the Dettol and the Omo to be to the the clothes to be clean.
Is this something you enjoy doing?
No.
So what do you want to change?
The pipe is not coming, so we want the government to bring the water. That's we should wash our clothes. Some people will come and wash their goats in the water. It is not good. The water is so dirty. So we need a pipe. We need a pipe to wash our clothes. We can't drink. We are suffering from a water.
Water from the Densu River flowed narrowly on the sandy base of the dam. Farmers along the dam also depend largely on the flow of water here. Despite the drop in water levels, residents still draw the little left in the dam to irrigate their crops. The effects of this shortage cannot be overemphasized as residents continue to search and draw water from every access point of the Densu River, which wholesomeness is not guaranteed. So a quick look around, you can see quite a number of groups. Young men, you have school children, school-going age children. There are ladies of all age groups, all washing just a distance away from an outlet of the River Densu, which is just a few meters away. The reason being that it is the only source of water readily available to them now to be able to do their normal Saturday washing, and that's how come they are gathered here. It's a situation they claim has persisted for the past 2 weeks, and they are calling on authorities responsible to quickly fix the problem.
Meanwhile, the Ghana Water Company says there's nothing it can do about the current situation to restore water supply to residents of Insa-Madina who have had to endure weeks of the current water shortage. Well, we spoke to the PR manager for the Ghana Water Company, Stanley Mate.
The alternative now is that we are being supported by NADMO and National Security with their fleet of tankers so that we could supply the essential service providers like the hospitals and the schools and all that. With the schools, for instance, we can only supply the kitchen and then their infirmaries and all that so that they can get good water in cooking for them. And then with the hospitals, they need water for everything, so we try to supply them. Now, within the communities, Insa is a very big area, so it becomes very difficult to supply the whole community with tankers. So we are being supported by the unit committee leaders and assemblymen and some opinion leaders, so that we mount these tankers at certain strategic locations so that people can fetch, as a few of them can fetch. The situation is terrible. Insa is a very big area, okay? And so if, for instance, you live in one community and even 100 meters away, the tanker is parked there, and at that particular moment you are not there, there's no way you will know. You understand? And we can't take the tankers just to one community. So at least one tanker to a community, we move to another community and all that. Okay, but we give priority to the essential services providers, and that is what I'm saying. So we'll plead with them, but under the situation, there's nothing we can do. We are doing well to abstract water by using submersible pumps from far beyond the area where we do the abstraction, but that has also become very difficult, and we are unable to abstract enough for production. So, and the challenge is with the citizens of Insa themselves. They are polluting and silting the Densu River. So now we are unable to store enough water. Because it's a natural situation, it becomes very difficult for me to say anything, to give timelines especially, because until the rains come in for the levels to go up, it is very difficult for us to abstract and to produce water for that.
Stanley Mate is a communications manager for the Ghana Water Company. Food scientists say one of the surest ways of addressing malnutrition in Ghana lies in the consumption of the orange flesh sweet potato.
Apart from the crop source of carbohydrates, it is rich in beta-carotene, prerequisite for vitamin A, which is very good for the sight of children and nutrition. Unfortunately, though, sweet potato is a neglected crop in Ghana, and policymakers do not place much priority on it. Mahmoud Mohammed Nuruddin has been speaking to some scientists on the issue and has come through with this report.
50% of death among children in 2015 was attributed to malnutrition. 1 out of 5 children under age 5 suffers stunted growth due to malnutrition. Even though it is one of the world's serious problems, malnutrition remains one of the least addressed health problems. Food scientists say potato can help reduce malnutrition drastically.
Trying to promote orange flesh sweet potato, all because of the high beta carotene that it contains. And this beta carotene can be converted to vitamin A. And you know, in our country and in Africa, we have a lot of vitamin A deficiency issues. So we want to promote this orange flesh sweet potato that has high beta carotene and therefore be able to combat vitamin A deficiency. And we believe that upon all the research, upon all the trials, the farm and all that, and upon all the promotion, if people do not eat them, I mean, we are doing more or less a course 90 work. So what we want to do is I want to show people the simple ways we can use sweet potato in our homes, in our communities, in our schools, in our own usual foods that we prepare. Like today we are doing mpoto, we are doing fried rice with the leaves, we are doing stew with the leaves, and then we are also doing baby porridge.
Though sweet potato is a climate-smart crop which can withstand climate change variation, farmers are yet to realize its potential, while policymakers pay little attention to it.
It's a neglected crop in the sense that policymakers have not paid attention to it. And so I think many people in Ghana can remember the day when they were kids, there was sweet potato around. There was more sweet potato than there is now. And why is that? Because for a number of reasons, because of that sort of neglect in some ways, it has now sort of dropped out of the system, right? So it needs that kind of an attention to push it up, to boost it up, to have varieties that are resistant to diseases, to have it on the extension agenda, to have it on the... It's not enough just to have the research coming out with a few varieties, so it's not totally neglected. Of course, there are a number of passionate people and there are organizations that have been supporting it, but we can see the reality that somehow it's not super readily available.
Participants at the workshop were taken through various aspects of preparing potato as a diet, from boiling, roasting to making paste, among others.
Sweet potato has been proven to have low glycemic index. Low glycemic index means that its starch, or when you digest it, it is released. The sugar content or the sugar content of it is released gradually into the blood stream. So it is not as fast as eating normal sugar. Not true. It is just a myth that it increases diabetes and all that. There is no truth about it. And it has high fiber, which we are actually encouraging those who are diabetic to take. I think that, traditionally we eat most of our meals in non-sweet form. So a lot of people would wish to have something that is not sweet, as I said. But we are also trying to let them know that you can incorporate sweet potato, because what we use, ripe plantain, it's sweet, and we eat it with beans. In the same way, you can eat sweet potato with beans.
Mahmoud Mohammed Nuruddin's report from the Ashanti region.
Sweet potato with beans, how that will be. I think it'll be fine.
I like the fried sweet potatoes with pepper.
They're always sweet. Too sweet for my liking, though.
Yeah?
Personally, I like
but it's nice.
And
I know that children love it.
Yes, they love it. And talking about children, a female student of the Richard School in Accra has emerged winner of the Scripps National Spelling Bee Championship in Ghana.
Ifwa and Samarikuru outspelled 140 other students to become the overall winner of the 9th edition of the spelling competition. It took 5 rounds of word battling to narrow all 140 celebrities down to 7.
Speller number 34, Ridge Church School. You made it. Congratulations.
Then it was time to sieve out the overall winner with 6 boys and a girl in the final round. And Ifwa Menukure made her school and parents proud.
Really happy. It feels like a dream right now because I never expected this to happen.
This is not the first time Ifwa has participated in the National Spelling Bee Championships. She has been here 3 times already, but this is the first time she's made it this far.
I think that what actually made it for me was my knowledge of root words, which are like the building blocks of words. You know, they come together to make the word. And so when you know more and more of such words, well, you find spelling words, well, very easy.
Emil Abagri of St. Mary's Child School and Lord Awingo of the University of Cape Coast Primary School came second and first runner-up respectively. Visually impaired Emmanuel Samwa, representing the Ekropon School for the Blind for the third time at the National Championships, came in 6th place. He was not the only one who represented at the championships though. He came with 7 other schoolmates.
They are visually impaired from children, really, who are at the heart of it. They are children. It's what we all forget. And no one wants to be excluded from the society in which they live, especially when it comes to activities such as this, especially when it comes to children. So for us, for the last 5 years, we've chosen to work with the Ekropon School for the Blind to prove a point. We actually want to see if we can work with those who are hard of hearing as well, because again, we believe that they communicate anyway. They communicate either by hand language or sign language. So we should be able to inculcate that in the spelling as well.
Ifa will represent Ghana at the 89th Scripps International Spelling Bee in Washington, D.C., USA later this year.
Congratulations! Wow, wow, wow!
Oh, congratulations so far. And the spelling of words, very, very good. Well,
should I put you to the test?
Yeah, try.
Convention.
Oh, yeah. The Convention People's Party, and that's the word she mentioned. But the CPP says it is certain that the party will regain its lost glory in the November polls, especially with Ivor Kwabena Greenstreet as its presidential candidate.
Speaking to Joy News at a Thanksgiving service held for the CPP flag bearer, National Chairman Professor Edmond Delali said he was optimistic the CPP's fortunes in the November election will push the polls into a second round.
The Thanksgiving service was held at the Legon Anglican Church here in Accra in the company of the party's national chairman and a host of other party leadership. The church thanked God for CPP's flag bearer, Ivor Greenstreet. Church members, friends and family took turns to congratulate and celebrate with Mr. Greenstreet on his victory.
Today, the Thanksgiving was really sincere and from the bottom of our hearts, because we really know that, you know, there was a divine hand in so many of the things that we did. So, I mean, we really had to come and give thanks.
Mr. Greenstreet also shared with the news team some efforts he's made so far to bring the rank and file of the party together ahead of the November elections.
We had a meeting with the leadership on Friday. We also had a meeting with the Council of Elders on Friday. We also had a meeting with the youth on Friday. Since that time, I've also been in touch with all the other presidential candidates who I competed with, and we have had nice discussions, and with other leading members who have also had occasion to make comments in the public domain. I've also spoken to them, so I think things are moving in the right direction. I believe that so far, what they have said and what they have pledged, I am ready to accept it as something that will happen and manifest itself in words and actions.
Chairman of the party, Professor Edmond Delali, told Joy News they are happy Mr. Greenstreet won the slot.
It's a joy for all of us to come and thank God for giving us a very peaceful election. Almost over 3,000 people at the hall, and God protected the party. And we are now out, united in the name of God, to go ahead in our campaign for the elections, which will come on in November this year. And we are confident that with him as our flag bearer, the fortunes of the Convention People's Party are going to be very, very high. And as we said the other day, the Convention People's Party is going to push this election into a second round.
With lots of optimism, Professor Delali is certain the CPP will gain back its glory. He therefore urged party members to unite and work hard to improve on the party's fortunes.
Virtually everybody is around, and we are all happy that, as I said the other day, the battle is over. What is left for us is hard work, united together, united behind our presidential candidate, And I'm confident with our spirit of unity and our organizational skill, there is nothing that can stop us from really moving forward as a strong, united party. And once again, we revive the glories of the past, a party which never lost elections. And we are going to revive that past, that this time around, with green all the way, CPP will succeed.
Some church members told Joy News off camera they are proud of Mr. Greenstreet's for coming this far.
And that's it for the news. And for many of you, well, you would want to know what your comments have been a lot. And so we want to read a couple of them for you.
All right.
It's through our WhatsApp platform, 0568 100,000. Always a number.
And Genia Marino at Saribidiako SHS in Akrokeri, who is always watching, by the way, says, good morning, Mama V and Roland. Let us give thanks to the Almighty for a bright, beautiful new week. Asadankwa. Thank you, Bright, for that message. And this person says, wow, Roland, you're very inspirational. And in fact, you have made my day bright. And I suggest we block roads for you to deliver your inspiration words to the nation.
I haven't been called.
I'm happy today. It's from Awindago from Garu. We could block the streets that we're on right now.
Actually, we intend blocking the Garu, the Garu streets.
This one says, good morning, Roland and Mama V. I'm thankful to the Lord for my life and for your lives. I wish you a fruitful week, but do you know something? As we thank God for my life, I also feel very disappointed for having John Mahama as my leader. It's from Rashid Kumbungu. Well, we don't know how we can help you on that, but enjoy the week, by the way. Yombo Moses from Chireponi says, please, what will bring your media men to Chireponi to come and see how bad our town roads look like? Politicians, they call themselves. Oh, gosh. We'll tell our correspondent who are close by you, and then they'll come through with a report. Don't worry, we'll be there pretty soon.
Okay, so next we'll have to look at what the stories are on the newspapers. And so we have the newspapers in the studio. We'll take a look at them as well. And when we're done, we'll look at some other news portals and try and get a lot more stories out of them. And so do stay on. It's here as always. But you want to watch us streaming live, please make sure that you join our channel on YouTube. My Joy Online is our channel there. And even though we've uploaded or keep uploading a lot more of the videos, we're streaming live on My Joy Online as a channel on YouTube.
All right, stay with us. We'll look into the newspapers next.